Okay, it's now 2 o'clock, as far as I can tell on my little computer here. So it's Thursday, March 8th, 2018, 2 o'clock p.m. This is the meeting of the Board of Trustees, Weatherford College. We're meeting in the Strain Community Room, Doss Student Center, located on campus at 225 College Park Drive, Weatherford, Texas. And we're here to act on the posted agenda. First item on the agenda is call to order and invocation, pledge allegiance. And I'll ask Mr. Baker to lead us in the invocation, pledge allegiance.
You bet. Please bow with me. Lord, we're thankful for this semester. We are thankful for this academic year you've brought to us. We ask that you protect our students, faculty, and staff this next week during spring break. Please bring them back safely to us to finish the year strong. I pray for our board today that you'll be with them in their deliberations. Thank you for everyone that has a love for Weatherford College. So in your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. And I will note that we have a quorum present. Second agenda item is open forum for individuals not on the agenda. Anything there, Mr. Baker? All right. Number 3 on the agenda is President's Report, recognitions, employee notices.
Yes, sir. Board members, thank you for being here today. I'd like to congratulate our Student Support Services team on yet again reaching their goals in their most recent report to the federal government. SSS is a federally funded TRIO initiative that aims to increase college retention and graduation rates to first-generation low-income and disabled students. The program met and exceeded all of its objectives this year, and they were not easy objectives to reach. Year-to-year persistence rate, good academic standing rate, and graduation rates for the students accepted in that program. This past year, the 160 students in that SSS program received over $949,000 in federal and state financial aid. That's about an average of $6,700 per student. In that same vein, I want to congratulate Kay Landrum. She's our Executive Director of Student Outreach and Student Success. She was recognized with an award from our TRIO programs recently for her leadership over the past 15 years. She was presented with a Red Crystal Award and thanked for being a guiding light from her TRIO family. Our Alumni Awards Selection Committee met yesterday, and I'm very pleased to announce our winners for 2018. Mike Gilly is this year's Alumnus of the Year. Mr. Gilly spent 45 years with the Springtown ISD, serving as a coach, a teacher, assistant superintendent. He was also once recognized by President Reagan for protecting the lives of students in a school fire that happened in the 1980s. Mr. Lynn Easley and Mr. Frederick Sanders are this year's distinguished alumni. Mr. Easley grew up in the Pythian home. He eventually became a decorated educator in Kennedale, earning Texas Vocational Teacher of the Year, and he was the National Trade and Industrial Teacher of the Year as well. And then Mr. Sanders is a decorated musician. He's a music educator, having performed and recorded all over the world with the likes of Wynton Marsalis, Dr. John, Nora Jones, and David Newman. And they'll be honored at our Alumni Awards Luncheon coming up in mid-April. Moving on to athletics. The all-conference basketball teams were announced earlier this week, and we had both the Player of the Year and the Coach of the Year for women's basketball. Masha Vasilevko named Player of the Year. She led the conference in scoring this year. And Coach Bob McKinley, of course, Co-Coach of the Year. That's his 12th Coach of the Year award. As many of y'all know, the Lady Coyotes begin the Region 5 postseason tournament tonight, 6 o'clock. We have a watch party here in this building next door. And then I expect them to win, because if they do, I'm going to go to Lubbock tomorrow and watch them play, and hopefully all the way to the championship game on Saturday. The winner of that tournament goes on to the national tournament as well. As far as employee notices go, mathematics instructor Katie Moe has announced her resignation at the end of this academic year. Katie is expecting her first child very soon, and she says she hopes to return to WC at some capacity in the future, and we wish her well. My report.
That's it. Thank you, sir. Number 4, consent agenda and financial reports. Approval of minutes from February 8, 2018 board meeting. Financial reports ending February 28, 2018. Quarterly investment report. SB 0518 Anatomy and Interactive Visualization System. Those are the items on the consent agenda. I make a motion that we approve those items. Is there a second?
A second.
There's a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes. So we'll move to number 5, consideration possible action, adoption of the 2018-19 tuition and fees. That would be Dr. Cantrell.
We brought this to you all in a report last time. We're recommending to increase 6% across the board. I think we're 12% but behind the average at this point in time. I predict by the fall, by the time all the rest of it, we will be 2% more at least, 2 to 3% behind. So we're recommending at this time that we go ahead and increase 6% across the board. I think there was one question that we had from Mr. Grizzard last time about our schools, our size, the median schools. We were still, when we looked at those, there's 22 medium-sized schools out there. And we had looked at that, the committee had looked at that closely, and we are behind those schools also. I will point this out. We were 1,000, the average median size was 1,094. We were 960. So that will still remain behind with even the 6% increase. So, also recommended at this time, we're recommending that the TEAS test fee will be increased from $70 to $80 to cover the increase in direct expense plus administrative cost. They are recommending, they're saying the TEAS test will be waived for certain veteran students that participate in programs that do not cover testing fees. And then room and board charges will be increased by $75 per semester for both 10 and 19 meal plans. This time we are recommending those changes. Are there any questions that I can entertain?
Any questions by anyone on the board? Any comments? Mr. Grizzard, were you satisfied with the information?
I think that speaks volumes about where we put a priority at Weatherford College, because our priority is always going to be the students, and the fact that we're able to stay underneath the average gives us the right to go out there and tell the people, the students that want to come here, we're going to give you the best money for your the best value for your money.
Yeah, I agree.
Dr. Cantrell mentioned last time that we held tuition flat for 4 straight years.
Yes, we have.
So that's important to note.
Okay. With that said, is there a motion to adopt the 2018-19 tuition and fee schedule as it's been presented? Is there a motion to do that? Mr. Grizzard, second by. It's been seconded, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 6, reports. Alkek Center 20th Anniversary Concert Series, and that would be Mr. Durrett.
Mr. Durrett.
Well, thank you. Glad to show you this presentation that's let you know what's going on in April at Alkek. Alkek was Jim Boyd's vision, and in 1998 it opened. And so this a year ago, I believe Mike Indy was talking, and we were talking about the idea of having a reason to celebrate, and what better reason than 20 years for the fine arts in the Alkek Theater. So 1998 to 2018, and it'll begin April 7th, that's a Saturday night, and go through the 28th. Okay, y'all are going to have to put on your thinking caps. So history question number 1. Before the Alcac was opened in 1998, where were the fine arts programs on campus? Okay, Leland, Susan. Most of y'all, they call it the Jack Knight Building. It was named that. That was Building 3 to me, or the music building, and it's the one out here. A lot of people on campus say it was where? And so, but Merlin's Art, the band, the choir, Myrna Fields taught music there. Jack Knight Building. Where did we get the name Alcac? Well, Marjorie Black Alcac was a former student and donor to the Fine Arts program at Weatherford College, and so she was a great assist in getting that building funded and very helpful. Who was the president of Weatherford College when the Alcac was opened?
Jim Boyd.
Jim Boyd.
Jim Boyd.
Okay. In the program for the celebration back, the opening 20 years ago, the opening, there was a letter, and this is the last paragraph of the letter, and the last half of the last sentence right there really hits me. It said, "Let us trust the future generations to use the arts as a tool to preserve humanity." And I think that really speaks a lot. And you know, a lot of people don't realize that the Cold War, when it ended, a lot of politicians took credit, and some of them rightfully so, but some of them also will tell you that 3 musical people, one from Fort Worth, helped end that Cold War. Do you know who that might be? Van Cliver, Louis Armstrong, and Benny Goodman. There was a different climate in Russia at that time, and the people, they certainly weren't going to be able to revolt, but there was a known that they were thinking, we don't really hate the Americans, we like their music. So it's the fine arts. Of course, it's usually the first thing that gets cut in the budget, but and also the first thing you won't. Okay, we start Merlin's art show, annual art show and reception. She always has a wonderful reception, a wonderful showing of student art, and you really need to be there. April 9th, there's a reception, and the artwork will be there all week, and we have some very talented students, and so we're very proud of that. Okay, on Saturday, April the 7th, the Great American Songbook. Now we have a great artist, Sandra Kay, and her trio, and she will be featured, but we also have Rob Laney, Rick Rainey, and Dr. Hay Young's song that will also be part of the program. And I have to tell you, we're getting another question here, because I had someone that I know very close, and when I talk about the American Songbook, they said, "Oh, well, will I get a songbook?" So to sort of clear up in case there's any questions on this, what is the American Songbook? And it's the American Standards Songbook, influential American popular and jazz standards, early 20th century up through the 50s. And these songs mostly were written for Broadway theater and musical, and at that time they were great actors, but they weren't that great a singer. And so, but when people like Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, and they took this music, it became the pop music of the day. So, can you name a famous composer of in the American Songbook? Dr. Marlette, I bet you should be able to.
Probably not.
Okay, here's just a very short list right here. Gershwin, Berlin, Carmichael, Coleman, Ellington, Arlen, Strayhorn. Ellington was really the only real performer in this group. They all performed, but not to his level, but they were incredible writers of music. And then things that they wrote, Gershwin, Summertime, Porgy and Bess,
God bless them.
White Christmas, Blue Skies by Irving Berlin, all these. And you see they cross different genres of music. You've heard Willie Nelson sing Stardust, Georgia on My Mind, and it doesn't matter. This is just great music that was written back then that's ageless, timeless. Current singers of the American Songbook, and you hear these people now, and the great singers. Freddie Cole is the brother of Nat Cole. Tony Bennett, with Lady Gaga, who is one of the young singers, but she's singing that good stuff. So Paul McCartney, he put out an album about 3 years ago with Standards. So Okay, and then the week of April 12th through the 15th, we've got the Into the Woods, and this was the play that opened the ALCAC in 1998. And Mike Indy was very involved in that. Our new director is James Brownlee, and he was a student at that time, and he is our director now. Nancy McVeigh retired this past year, and she directed it in 1998. So we're very happy that we've got that connection. Here's another student, Weatherford College student that's taking up.
Somebody here in the room is acting in that musical as well. Mike Indy.
Oh.
Mike Indy's playing a big part in that, so you come out and see him sing and act.
Well, you'll get a chance to hear him 4 nights in
Yeah.
April.
That's what everybody needs, right?
Moving along. Okay, if you've never heard of the New Orleans Gumbo Kings, Friday, April the 20th, it's all kinds of different Louisiana music, New Orleans style, and the members are incredible musicians. They've worked with Dr. John, Dukes of Dixieland, Al Hurd, you can read those, and I included that last statement, a trip down Bourbon Street without the bad smells. And if you've ever been on Bourbon Street around 2 o'clock in the morning,
You better be
know what I mean.
drunk.
Okay, now our big night, I think they're all going to be big nights, but this one is special because we're going to recognize a lot of people who helped Jim Boyd and the college get this going with his vision for the Marjorie Elcack Fine Arts Center. We're going to have a night of Mozart, and it's featuring the Fort Worth Symphony Chamber Orchestra. The chamber orchestra is about 35 members. A full symphony at the Fort Worth Symphony, I think it's 50 or 55. But John Giordano will be directing it, and he directed the Fort Worth Symphony when the theater opened in 1998. And our own artist in residence, Dr. Hae Young Song, will be featured pianist with the symphony. And that's her in the right, and the symphony, and John. Going to be a very good night. Okay, for the blues lovers, nothing but the blues on Friday, April 27th. This is an incredible singer, Victor Cager. I've had the pleasure of getting to work and record with him. I don't know what else to say, but he's a great singer, and I think you'll love hearing. And then Weatherford College Jazz Band X's. This is the last evening of the ALCAC celebration, Saturday, April 28th. Weatherford College former band members in concert. Tom Burchill and I are going to be directing it, and I had the band from 75 to 90, and then Tom took it over. And then after Tom left, Cal, who's still here now, Cal Lewiston, is the current director. We've had our students have had some great success playing with all these great people. And one of our students, John Thomason, who's a bass player, and he was here. In fact, that's him in this picture right here. This is a concert at State Fair Music Hall in 1988. And this is John Thomason playing bass. And he just sent me a picture of his limo pulling up to Radio City Music Hall, where he's with Little Big Town. I don't know the group, but they're on TV a lot. So.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but this was a great concert. And Leila, were you at this one?
I think so.
Okay. Leila was a big assist to the band, especially when the year we went to Montreux. We played over 70 concerts that year, so. And Leila helped us a lot in funding, taking care of the students and the financial end of it. And some of our musician exes have won several Grammy Awards. And I always tell Dan Curley, I said, you know, we've had some great success stories, and then we've had a few that actually turned out to be lawyers. So I don't know where I went wrong. If you need information, go to wc.edu/alcac20 for online ticket purchases. And ticket purchases are required for the American Songbird Concert, the Symphony, and the Gumbo Kings. Employee discounts for the Symphony. And the discounts are, the regular tickets are $50 and $75 for the symphony, and you get a $10 discount for an employee or board member. American Songbook is $10 tickets, Gumbo Kings $20, all other concerts are free, and profits will be donated to the Fine Arts Scholarships. So we hope we have a lot to put into that pot. And we want to thank some people, certainly the Weatherford College Foundation. We obviously couldn't do it without them, but we've also got several donors that have really stepped up, and we're still talking to some people. So if you know some people that might want to donate, we're still taking money for this. But Vicki and Jerry Durant, Snow Garrett Williams, Larry and Gail Fowler, and our President Brent and Elizabeth Baker. So we thank them very much. And that's it. We hope to see you all at every concert, and it'll be a lot of fun, a lot of work, but it'll be a lot of fun. So thank you all very much.
Thank you much, Dwayne.
Thanks, Wayne.
Brent, announcements number 7.
Yes, sir. You see in your packet there, we do have spring break next week. So after that, and actually during that week, we have baseball and softball going on. We do have the Jazz Fest on March the 23rd. We have an author luncheon at our Jim Wright Library on March the 24th. That's at 11:30. It's here in this room, but it benefits the library, put on by the library. Several softball and baseball doubleheaders. Hopefully we'll be talking about a national tournament appearance by our Lady Coyotes during this time as well, depending on what happens in Lubbock. And then we have a Philosophy of Religion conference put on by Greg Trickett, one of our faculty members. I believe this is the first time we've done this. April 6th and 7th. And then you get into what Dwayne just talked about with all of our fine arts events.
Is that it?
One more thing I did want to mention, well, I think I mentioned it earlier, April 13th is that Alumni Awards luncheon that will be honoring those alumni.
Okay.
I'd like to see you all there.
Thank you. Okay, that moves us to number 8, closed session. So at this time, we will close the open session and in a couple of minutes go into a closed session. And what we're going to cover there is consult with college attorney regarding in accordance with Government Code 55071, deliberate real property in accordance with Government Code 551072, deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee in accordance with Government Code 551074. Thank you.
I would like to announce our baseball team started out 2-0. They beat Ranger twice yesterday. We're going to go out there and beat them twice this weekend.
Yeah. Way to go.
Okay, the time is 4:32 and we are going to go back into open session. So we'll call that to order. And really we have nothing to add to what we have done earlier. So at this time, I'll make a motion that we adjourn item number 9. Is there a second?
A second. No, a second.
I'll say one thing. I just wanted to say, I look out here and I know these people for 20 plus years. And I hope every one of you understand how serious every one of us takes this responsibility. And we will do our dead level best to find the best and most qualified person amongst all the candidates. And, you know, I know how much all of you have given of your time to help this institution, and now it's our turn to give our time to help this institution.
Here, here.
Well, thank you, Mr. Grisard. So is there I've made a motion, is there a second?
You've had about 10 seconds.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're out of here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's what we talked about too.